Ladies and gentlemen, when the President spoke before the Congress, he stated as our objective the stabilization of the situation in Vietnam. We made clear at that time, as well as before many congressional hearings, that our purpose was to bring about the most controlled and the most humane solution that was possible, and that our objectives required, and that these objectives required the course which the President had set. Our priorities were as follows. We sought to save the American lives still in Vietnam. We tried to rescue as many South Vietnamese that had worked with the United States for 15 years in reliance on our commitments as we possibly could. And we sought to bring about as humane an outcome as was achievable under the conditions that existed. Over the past 2 weeks, the American personnel in Vietnam has been progressively reduced. Our objective was to reduce at a rate that was significant enough so that we would finally be able to evacuate rapidly, but which would not produce a panic which might prevent anybody from getting out. Our objective was also to fulfill the human obligation which we felt to the tens of thousands of South Vietnamese who had worked with us for over a decade. And finally, we sought through various intermediaries to bring about as humane a political evolution as we could. By Sunday evening, the personnel in our mission had been reduced to 950. And there were 8,000 South Vietnamese that we considered in a particularly high-risk category, between 5 and 8,000. We don't know the exact number. On Monday evening, Washington time, around 5 o'clock, which was Tuesday morning in Saigon, the airport in Tan Son Nhut was rocketed and received artillery fire. The President called an NSC meeting. He decided that if the shelling stopped by dawn Saigon time, we would attempt to operate with fixed-wing aircraft from Tan Son Nhut Airport for 1 more day to remove the high-risk South Vietnamese, together with all the defense attaché's office, which was located near the Tan Son Nhut Airport. He also ordered a substantial reduction of the remaining American personnel in South Vietnam. I may point out that the American personnel in Saigon was divided into 2 groups. One with the defense attaché's office, which was located near the Tan Son Nhut Airport. The second one, which was related to the embassy and was with the United States mission in downtown Saigon. The shelling did stop early in the morning on Tuesday, Saigon time, or about 9 p.m. last night, Washington time. We then attempted to land C-130s, but found that the population at the airport had got out of control and had flooded the runways, and it proved impossible to land any more fixed-wing aircraft. The President thereupon ordered that the DAO personnel, together with those civilians that had been made ready to be evacuated, be moved to the DAO compound which is near Tanzanite Airport, and about 11 o'clock last night, he ordered the evacuation of all Americans from Tanzanite and from the embassy as well. This operation has been going on all day, which of course is night in Saigon under difficult circumstances, and the total number of those evacuated numbers about 6,500. We will have the exact figures for you tomorrow, of which about 1,000 are Americans. Our ambassador has left, and the evacuation can be said to be completed. In the period since the President spoke to the Congress, we have therefore succeeded in evacuating all of the Americans who were in South Vietnam, losing the two Marines who were last night to rocket fire, and two pilots today on a helicopter. We succeeded in evacuating something on the order of 55,000 South Vietnamese, and we hope that we have contributed to a political evolution that may spare the South Vietnam some of the more drastic consequences of a political change, but this remains to be seen. This last point remains to be seen. As far as the administration is concerned, I can only underline the point made by the President. We do not believe that this is a time for recrimination. It is a time to heal wounds, to look at our international obligations, and to remember that peace and progress in the world has depended importantly on American commitment and American convictions, and that the peace and progress of our own people is closely tied to that of the rest of the world.